What's up, minions and mortals? This is Fang from Lords of the Trident, and I want to thank SKB Cases for sponsoring this gear walkthrough video. And I know what you're thinking. Fang, you're a vocalist. What gear do you have? Well, first off, A, I'm right here. You gotta hurt my feelings like that? And B, if I didn't have gear to walk through, then what the heck do you call this gigantic case behind me? Today we're gonna be walking through our in-ear monitoring, streaming, and recording system. Okay, so obviously the first place to start is the case. This is a 12U shock mount SKB case in the X series, and this thing is sturdy as all get out. I mean, you could probably throw this thing off of a speeding train and everything inside would likely be fine. It's also really big, which can be a pro or a con depending on who you are. It's got an official caster kit, but I did not purchase it because I forgot. So I ended up making my own with this tie-down strap and a caster kit that I put together myself. Obviously it would look a lot better if I used the official one. Let's start down at the bottom and work our way to the top. So at the very bottom are the inputs to this box, and these are two Behringer MS8000 channel splitters. Basically what these do is if you plug a microphone into the front, it will split it into two outputs out in the back. And this is important because one output needs to go from this box to the front of house where they're mixing the sound. And the other output goes into our mixer, which goes into our ears. We've got 16 inputs, which is enough to handle pretty much our entire setup night to night. So next up here we've got the next row, which is both our Shure wireless microphone, which is a GL-XD4R, and our Shure PSM 300 wireless transmitter. And this wireless transmitter is going to two of our in-ears. The wireless microphone I kind of bought for myself as a little gift to me, which was really, really great. And it comes with this really neat charging bay for the battery for the microphone. So I've got an extra battery sitting in here so that I will always have a charged battery. The Shure PSM 300 transmitter I really like. We've been using this for quite some time now, and we haven't run into any interference. It hasn't really had any issues whatsoever. And the nice thing about this model is it allows for something called mix mode. So if you send in two inputs, one on the left and one on the right, in mono, you can, on your receivers, on the packs you wear on your body, you can choose whether you want to get all of the left signal, all of the right signal, or some mix of the two. What this allows us to do is, instead of buying a transmitter for every single person in the band, is we can just send two mono signals to this one transmitter and get two identical packs. And then one person's signal is all the way to the left, and one person's signal is all the way to the right. So it saves a lot of money. I really like this system. It's been really great so far. Next up is the Galaxy Audio AnySpot AS1100T. Now, when I bought the Galaxy Audio transmitter, I bought it because one of my friends recommended that I try it out. Honestly, it hasn't quite been as reliable as the Shure transmitter, which is too bad because it was significantly cheaper, but we have run into some interference. Also, I was a dummy, and I should have bought the next level up instead of this one because I thought this one also had mix mode, which it does not. So whatever you plug in left or right gets sent to both transmitters. The way that we fix this is we bought some DJ splitting cables that split a stereo into two mono signals going hard left, hard right, and then we just taped off the hard left and hard right. So problem sort of kind of fixed. I'm probably going to upgrade to another Shure system from this in the future. Sorry, Galaxy Audio. Next up, with the wonderful stickers all over it, the dinosaur stickers we got from our neighbor's kids. This is the Behringer X18, and this is the brains of our whole system. It's a digital mixer that allows for 18 inputs and gives you 6 outs plus 2 main line outs. And so what we do is we feed the splitter one end of the splitter into this mixer. So kick, snare, hi-hat, etc., right? And then we assign a mono output from one of our aux outputs on here into the lines going into the left and right on the Shure and the left and right onto the AnySpot. The last output goes to a wired connection, which lives on the side here. If I can get it out. Get out. Anyway, you get the idea. Lives on the side here, and that goes out to the drummer. That's just a regular headphone out that's living on the side there. So in that way, every single person can have their own separate monitor mix, and it'll sound pretty much exactly the same night to night, which is fantastic. Also, this has USB out, which connects to a computer, which we'll get to later on in the walkthrough. But that allows us to capture independently 18 channels of audio. So we capture every single night all of the inputs coming in from all of the microphones. And then we take that and we mix it down and we send it out to our Patreon backers as official bootlegs after the show. We also use the main left and right output to send to a what we call an easy mix. And what that easy mix does is if we're in a situation where the sound guy's out sick or out drunk or dead, we can basically just plug that directly into one or to two of the lines, send a stereo signal out to the mains, and for the most part, it's mixed pretty well. Might need to do a little bit of adjustment for the room. That also allows us to send that same signal out to a live stream that also runs out of this box. So we can live stream all of our concerts completely mixed on YouTube, which is just absolutely fantastic. So the Behringer X18, I can't say enough good things about it. So far, it has been absolutely incredible and super pivotal to making this whole thing work. Next up on here, we've got a Furman power conditioner, which obviously a lot of you people are pretty familiar with the Furman power conditioners. We've got the M8DX model with the extendable lights, which is really great in dark environments. And then, of course, on the front here, we've got an extra power cable, or power output, excuse me, that we plug our rechargeable batteries in. And so then we have batteries charging all the time. So if something goes out in the middle of the show in terms of our in-ear packs, we just grab some new batteries and pop them in. Or, we'll let this thing charge up ahead of time and we'll just pop in super fresh batteries every night. Furman, obviously, I don't need to tell you, makes amazing power conditioners. Fantastic product, highly recommend it. Above that, we have a big old drawer, right? And this lockable drawer contains pretty much all of the stuff that we carry with us night to night, including our wireless receivers, our in-ear box, or our in-ear headphones, my microphone, and we've also picked up some of these wonderful Audix cab grabbers that essentially just open up, grab onto our cabs, and we just place our microphones there. So if we're in a situation where we don't have adequate, miking of our cabinets, we can still use the in-ear system, and we're not at a loss, basically, on that. So lots of extra stuff in there. Pretty much the standard battery packs, or the receiver packs, that you'd see, the Shure P3RA that we both use, myself and the Baron. And then for the AnySpot, we've got the AnySpot wireless receiver packs, and of course, like I said, we've sort of hacked the mono out signal so that it sends to just one side instead of our people receiving stereo and both of them receiving each other's mixes. So this is our sort of hack. And again, I'll probably upgrade that in the future. And then last but not least, at the very top, we have both our iPad to wirelessly control the Behringer X18, which is great. And we've got a computer, which has got a SSD in it. And this will capture the 18 inputs night to night that we've got down, well, technically 16, right? But it could capture 18. So it'll capture the inputs night to night, and we'll be able to take those back to our main mixing deck and mix them down and send them out to the Patreon backers as official bootlegs. It also connects to Wi-Fi and transmits the mixed signal out to YouTube so that we can send our fully mixed shows out to our Patreon backers that are at the behind the scenes level, which is really awesome. It's a really great perk to offer for people who are, backing our Patreon, who are not in the area that we're playing, or maybe not even in the country. We have a bunch of people who are international Patreon backers who would love to tune in, or would love to be with us in person, but they can't, so they tune in online, which is great. On the computer we've got a USB in coming from the X18. We've got a backup Ethernet connection to the X18 just in case Wi-Fi fails and we need to make a quick change. We've got power, we've got our plug for our iPad, and we've got our mono in from the phone's outsource on our X18 that runs the live stream. So that's it for the front. Now on the back, swing this guy around, and of course knock over everything in the process. So on the back of this, we've got two snakes that are coming out from that splitter that I talked about earlier. The snakes are coming out of one of the two split lines on each individual microphone input, and they're coming out to these two snakes, which will go to the snake that runs to front of house. So this is the way that the signal carries through from where you plug it in down in the bottom here on the front, carries through to the back and out to the mixing station for the mixing engineer to actually hear us and send it through the main PAs. And then obviously all of this is very well labeled in very big font so that it's easy for people to find. We've got it connected with a bunch of these heavy-duty wrap-up Velcro straps, which I'm really, really digging. And then we've got another one for the power to the whole thing. In the back here, you'll also see we've got another battery charging station for extra batteries. And you can kind of see the guts a little bit inside of there. But then the last thing that we've got on this, which has been a recent addition, is another drawer. We bought a short drawer that we could fit in the back here, and this holds extra XLR cables, extra guitar cables, extra microphones. Basically, those sort of things that we run into a situation where a microphone cable has pooped out, or a guitar cable has died, or maybe the venue we're playing at doesn't have the type of microphones that we need to make this system work. Well, we bring our own, and we run it all through here. And if we need anything extra, we've got it sitting in the back here. This is obviously a last-ditch drawer because it's usually buried way behind everything, but it's nice to know that it's there. The last thing I'll say is that on the top, coming out of the mixer on the top back here, we've got a click line that's going to run into our click source, which is a Roland pad that the drummer has. And then that gets fed to certain members of the band who want click in their ears, or who don't, like me. So that is pretty much it for the entirety of the gear walkthrough. Like I said, we've been using the system for a while, and I love it. I absolutely love having in-ears and having that accessible to us. It's made a huge difference in our playing. We're way tighter. And again, I'd like to thank SKB for sponsoring us with this case. It has been absolutely amazing. We've thrown, everything at this case, and it's been really, really solid, really, really strong. And I just really enjoy their products, really enjoy using it. A lot of us have SKB stuff, and it's fantastic. Also, a large majority of the stuff that you see here was made possible because of our backers on Patreon. So if you're not a backer on Patreon, please consider joining us today, patreon.com/Lords of the Trident. You get a lot of awesome perks. You get free merch, free music, and you get to tune into our live streams that are made possible by Patreon backers. So check it out, patreon.com/Lords of the Trident. Once again, thanks to SKB for sponsoring this gear walkthrough, and thank you for watching, and we will see you on the road.